If your organization is struggling during the transition phase of an agile transformation, chances are that the problems you face are not unique to your situation. The good news is that there are strategies you can implement to make this transition more manageable and more productive. Hi, my name is Greg Spector. I have over 10 years of software delivery experience. I consult teams and organizations on project management methodologies and how to improve their product delivery processes. If your organization wants to improve its goal setting, project management, or product operations processes, I offer a free 1-hour consultation. Please scan the QR code on your screen or find me on LinkedIn to set up the introductory call. There are always difficulties and challenges whenever large groups of people are asked to change their processes. Your transformation is no different. In an ideal world, we could stop our work, eliminate our old processes, and start all over, following a new process. In reality, our customers and stakeholders rely on us to continue to serve them as we go through this complicated transition. Many teams will have to work in two systems for a period of time. The good news is there are techniques and strategies you can implement to minimize disruption and to improve your outcomes. Switching between multiple tasks is a significant form of inefficiency. According to multiple studies, context switching has a negative impact on productivity. Allowing your team to focus on their work without unnecessary interruptions and other forms of context switching will help improve their flow, which will lead to increased efficiency, happier teams, and improved quality of outcomes. Time blocking is an effective way to reduce interruptions and make yourself more efficient. Rather than interspersing a single project throughout your day, requiring you to stop and start it, block out a single, uninterrupted segment of your day. Turn off as many alerts as you can to minimize distractions. Get as much as you can done during this block of time. If you aren't able to complete all of the work during this time, schedule another large block of time until the project is complete. I know you'll find this to be a more efficient way to make significant progress. When everything is top priority, nothing is top priority. People have a tendency to use the word urgent very lightly. Many of us interpret that as drop everything. If you're getting the impression that a new request is a drop everything request, then asking for clarification is the right next move. It's not unreasonable for engineers, analysts, and designers to expect to receive guidance on priority status when being asked to add work to their backlog. However, if you're not getting this guidance, it's your responsibility to request it. User stories or any requirements are not complete unless their relative priority and due dates are included. When requests have competing priorities, it's up to the requesting stakeholders, not those doing the work, to decide which request is more urgent. Loop them all in via email, chat, or a live meeting to work through which request is more urgent. Stack ranking them is a simple but effective way to document this. Whatever tool you choose to manage your work, having a single list of all of your commitments will help bring clarity to what you're responsible for delivering and in what order. Many of us are familiar with the concept of a Kanban board. The example on the screen is a simple version that can be used to track and communicate progress and priorities around any number of complex tasks. Color coding and stack ranking these tasks communicates their relative priority. Organizing them in columns as they progress through various statuses clearly communicates their progression towards completion. Your list doesn't just exist to serve you and help make you more organized. It can also be used to communicate with your partners and stakeholders. Making this board available to your stakeholders keeps them informed and reduces the number of interruptions your team has to contend with. It also reduces the number of status update meetings you will need to have. Even then, it's not just a one-way communication tool. You can use it to gather feedback and effectively manage expectations. Having a list alone is not enough. Maintaining it requires that you use it regularly and communicate any changes or delays. Making sure you, your team, and your stakeholders are on the same page helps everyone. The more often you're able to communicate with your stakeholders, the less often they will feel the need to reach out to you and disrupt your flow. Regular communication makes sure that they have the information they need to do their work. Let's talk about some approaches that you might find helpful. An information refrigerator is a term used to describe a chart, graph, or project plan that requires some searching to find information. Some examples of information refrigerators include Kanban and Scrum boards. When they are part of a work management tool, they're examples of information refrigerators. Making them easy to find and access will enhance their effectiveness, helping make your stakeholders self-sufficient when looking for updates. The strength of information refrigerators is that they are intended for focused consumption and therefore can communicate larger amounts of information. Boards, charts, posters, or even screens can be considered information radiators if consumers of data do not have to go digging to get access to them. A red-green pie chart, updated in real time, displayed on a large screen in a common area, is a good way to radiate how much work has been completed and how much is remaining. When displayed publicly, a Gantt chart is another example of an information radiator that might be familiar to those of us working in a waterfall methodology. A burn-down chart displayed on a large screen in an area where it can be easily seen by passing stakeholders is another real-world example of an information radiator. The strength of information radiators is that they are easily accessed and the information they radiate is readily available with little effort from the consumer of that information. It's important to remember not to overload an information radiator with data. If your stakeholders can't digest what's being shown from a little more than a glance, you're giving them too much. Either pare it down or break it up into multiple radiators. It's important that the information you radiate is current and accurate. Otherwise, people will lose confidence in these tools and stop relying on them, thus negating their benefits for you and your team. When creating an information radiator, take the following steps. Understand what is the most important information you're trying to communicate to your stakeholders. Once you understand what you're trying to communicate, select the appropriate visual tool or element. Keeping your information updated is key to success. If consumers of your data can't rely on your information radiator to be accurate, they will cease using it and revert to old methods. Make sure the element you choose is easily accessed. It's not a radiator if they have to go digging for it. Make this part of your team process. No one person should be responsible for maintaining this tool. Understand the difference between sizing and delivery estimates. Make sure your stakeholders understand the differences between these as well. Sizing is a way to represent how much effort an increment of work is. T-shirt sizes, story points, or simply hours are a way to represent how much effort something will take. An estimate is a way to predict when something will be completed. It can take sizing into account, but must also incorporate other information, such as when the work can begin and what delays may occur between delivery phases. Giving a stakeholder only the size of effort might leave them with the impression that the work will begin immediately and the outcomes will be available as soon as the predicted amount of time has passed. For example, saying that this work will take 3 days doesn't communicate whether it'll begin immediately or if it has to wait until someone is available to work on it. If different people will be required to complete multiple steps, it's unclear if the 3 days includes delays and handoffs. The best way to ensure that there's no misunderstanding is to provide the size of the work, the start date, and the anticipated completion date. This way, everyone is clear on what they can expect, and there will be no need for follow-up conversations to disrupt the work. Always have a recurring check-in with your stakeholders. Having this regularly on the calendar will make them less likely to keep reaching out for updates. Keep these updates focused on so that You don't get off topic and lose the value of these meetings. By pushing relevant information to your stakeholders, you will improve communication and reduce distractions. This will also improve your stakeholders' satisfaction with working with you. They will experience less uncertainty around deliverables, leading to reduced stress on their part. Thank you for watching this. I hope some of these techniques and strategies will prove helpful. Please follow me for more videos to learn how you can deliver more value and better quality while building happier teams. Again, if you want to schedule a free 1-hour consultation with me, please use the QR code above to connect with me on LinkedIn.